Something I wanted to ask you about was why do you think that people decide to lease on their own?
You talking about like people that own multifamilies, or you talking about people that own like single family? What in particular, like who's the avatar that we're talking about?
I mean, both. Do you see any similarities on their decision-making process when it comes to that? Like, why? Why do they do that?
Yeah, so from what I'm seeing, and I suppose it's a little anecdotal, but it does count for something. The single family person, the person who owns a single family home, they're
Mhm.
more thinking that because they bought the property and that it's like an easy 1, 2 step just to put it on the market, and depending on where they are, that it's not gonna take long for the property to get rented. Considering that they placed the price for the rental at or around market value. And plus it's 1 unit, so it's easier to just rent out 1 door than it is to rent out 24. So that's the difference between the single family and the person who owns that 24 doors. The person with 24 doors, they're probably thinking like they have to be at this property so often. And of course, they could outsource it and get a property manager, but if they can do it themselves, they can save potentially tens of thousands of dollars. So that's like super huge for them. But at the same time, as a professional, I look in and I say, look, you probably do something better with that time. So ultimately, it's just about saving money. And most people want to cut expenses. They want to cut expenses wherever they can. So that's that's what I'm saying. Just trying to cut expenses.
Okay, and are they validated in doing so in shooting for that goal?
I mean, it's here. There's a famous song back in the '90s that I used to listen to. Uh, it's called "Your Prerogative." Like you can do whatever you want with your property. No one's telling you what to do or what not to do. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to have time that can cost you money by focusing in on the property when you could be focusing in on other business ventures or your actual career, things that can move the needle or get you more value, I would I would tell you outsource it. And not because I'm a professional that's in that space to do the assisting on that, not because of that at all, but because I know that this isn't about the one time. This is about having a property that can take so much time from you for the person who has the single family, go for it. If you feel like you wanna do this and the person who's gonna reside in the property is gonna be there for a year, maybe 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky, go for it. But if you got multiple doors, I mean, you can go running unit to unit, door to door, month after a month, but I would not honestly tell you that that's the best thing you can be doing with your time because you got that asset. Who's to say you don't find another asset equal to or greater value if you had the due diligence, if you had the time to do that? Who's to say you can't find more money laying around in your personal career because you were able to focus in on that? It's only going to cost a few dollars to do it with management or a rental agent, but at the end of the day, you get so much value sourcing it.
Okay, and so what's something that stops people from going with a professional's help? What's something that we've commonly heard?
You look, it depends market to market. Sometimes people feel that the market is so hot that they don't need anybody. It's a commodity that is in demand and people are beating their doors down to get to their asset. But in reality, markets change. There are hot markets, there are cold markets. But the things that we've heard, because we are in the Bay Area, High Valley, East Bay, South Bay, you're gonna find that most people that have single family properties are not looking to source their you know, vetting. They're finding their tenant. They're wanting to do it themselves. But this is me being 100% honest. They can probably save so much time by just sourcing it out. I think that who wants to be on the freeway at 3 o'clock in the evening to get to their property. Like, you'd be lucky to have a property in your backyard. But who wants to go drive from, let's say, San Ramon to Hayward and open doors and try to make it back home in rush hour? That's not what anyone is raising their hand to do, I would imagine, right?
I don't think you have to imagine too much because you literally told me a story about somebody who told you that they don't want to drive on the freeway because they live far and they don't want to drive to the property out here. And I forget how many doors you said they have, but they have quite a few doors. And so in order to be able to even make contact with you, they had to do a whole mission, and they're a busy person. And then also from the people that you could talk about that you've been talking to, there's a lot of those people that are saying that they don't want to do it because, yes, they can get people in the door, and they have. But then you look at the door count, and it's one single family door, or single family, or two, or three, or four, and that's fine. That's completely fine. But then there's like a continuum of not, is it stressful or is it not stressful, but how stressful is it? And what are you willing to accept on that continuum? And what we're finding right now is that the people that usually have like 20 plus doors, I want to say 20 plus doors are the ones who are raising their hand and say, hey, we do want to work with you guys. And that's kind of the clientele that we have, is people that are ready to get over that little hump of having to do everything, but they don't want to do it because, I mean, just listening to the calls, man, they're pretty much all saying is they don't want to pay a property management at 10%. Like that's crazy. 10% for the life of the tenant. I say that's crazy for this reason. It's crazy because they don't actually really need the property management yet. They probably will once they get even bigger. And that's kind of like where we come in, is we're right in the middle. Right before they get into trouble with not being able to service their tenants well enough. That's the start of us. And then right before they get so big that they actually need property management. Like there's that little
There's a
cutout.
window there.
Yeah, exactly. And so just analyzing the people that we have talked to and are signed right now in this very moment, it seems like we fit right in right there.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a window. It's people that have just enough doors where they feel they can do it themselves, and also just enough doors to make them feel like I could probably have somebody else do it, but just not for this amount. Maybe something else. And that's where we fill in that blank. Ultimately, people want their time back. People that have those assets. Now, I'm saying that not to throw shade at folks that have their single family property that they're trying to rent, but even having the single family home, it doesn't matter what the price is. It could be 500,000, it could be a $2 million property. They're still trying to do it themselves, which would help. We could certainly help them, but these are you know, the, I mean, there are people that want to do it themselves and they're the stubborn type. I'm just going to call it spade a spade. They want to do it themselves. They want to save some money, and it does look expensive, the service, but at the same time, we're buying your time back. We're giving you more value at the very end of the day. Yeah, man, there are people that need perspective of having some hands or boots on ground, and they might not feel like doing what they have been doing with their 25, 30, 50 doors, but they just don't want to do that management. That's where we're falling into. That's where we're finding our comfort, our groove right now.
Yeah, and there's a lot coming in the pipeline that we talked about that we're working on, which is to put together a plan on how people, before they need us, how they can get to a point where they do need us. So it's like we're trying to force more of you guys to get in front of our faces by way of helping you get to that point. And the only way that we could really do that is to help you get more clients quicker so that you can get more properties. And eventually we'll do like an underwriting thing too. But we want to focus first on getting tenants. And so we're putting together some analytics, just analyzing what is working best in this market, because a lot of things that we're finding is that people, there's a shift like you talked about in the beginning. And so people are not just lining up anymore, at least for this little sub niche. And so we're trying to find ways around that because there's not one way of doing it that fits every single
It's not
time
like a
period.
cookie. Yeah, yeah. There's no cookie cutter here.
Yeah, so we have to find out what's the best way that we can package it into an easy, doable thing that anybody could do, and tweak it according to the time period
I'm
and
excited for
according
that,
to the
man.
market. Yeah.
Look, they don't even folks, when you guys find what we have for you guys as far as providing you with a, like, a clear step by step whatever level you are in the phase of shopping for properties or multifamily, whether you are just starting shopping for multifamily or you have X many doors, we're gonna put in so much value that you're gonna want to hang around just to see what other tricks or what other tools we can provide for you. The first things first is just showing you how to streamline this initial part and just getting more people through the door. The second phase, whether you are there or plan on being there, is making sure you have some kind of eyes on what you did to get into this situation, or what is the underwriting? What did you do to get here? How did we find this asset, and what is the real plan around it? Ultimately, want to make sure that you can see for yourself like where you can go, the potential, and kind of put some true numbers behind it. Not that you haven't done your numbers on it, but just so you can have some professional eyes around it, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And this is not coming from out of nowhere either. This is coming from, I mean, your years of experience dealing with clients in the real estate space. And me, I started before I was a real estate agent, I was actually investor myself. Like I had a little tiny, four doors going on, but it was like I was able to get those tenants in there. And I experienced like the very, very, very good tenants that are willing to do anything and paid on time all the time and just had no troubles with them. But I also tried to take the little shortcuts when the times were turning a little tough. Did the whole like short-term rental Airbnb thing, which those things work. I get it. And I did make quite a bit of money for I did use a lot of leverage. We'll put it that way to save time. But then I also experienced the downsides of it. I've had my like TV stolen from the dwelling. I had a couple little things here and there stolen, and they try to go through like a garage door so that they don't get seen by anybody doing
Sounds like
that.
you've been through some things.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like I've experienced a lot of things firsthand,
Yeah.
and the whole point of all of this is to be able to replicate it on a bigger scale so that way we can push this information out in the form of actual data. That way somebody and package it in a way that, step one, do this, step two, do this. This is how you do this. To a point where you go, you know what? I've done it. I got everybody in. I avoid the bad people that are gonna steal TVs. And I'm in with the good people that I trust, that I would trust to live with them myself. And so once we've kind of not perfected that, but got it replicatable, then we're gonna go ahead and push that out, and we'll see what that looks like. But I'm super excited for this, like you said. There's gonna be a lot that goes into it. It's gonna be a journey. We're gonna look back on this video and be like, man, we look like we don't know what we're doing. We're talking about this project, but it's because we can't talk at all
We
about
can't
it.
talk about it because it's something that you gotta experience.
Yeah,
And it's something that we're gonna be putting a lot of energy and effort into. So we're hopeful that when it's ready and it's available, that you enjoy the fruits of the labor, because it's not something that we are making up. Good thing is this isn't made up. Numbers don't lie. We've had the experience, the years behind in the business. We have the mentors behind us. We have plenty of systems that helped us along the way to kind of assess the landscape. So we just want to bring you the tools that we've experienced and that we were able to use in such a way that we've paid so much money for the things that we've learned.
Yeah.
We're just going to streamline it, package it in such a way that you can enjoy something that you know that has true value behind it. So we're not even gonna spoil it. I mean, there's nothing to spoil per se, but
I was gonna say don't name drop. We'll do that later. We'll name
exactly.
drop later, and then it'll make sense once they see the product, and then it'll be like, oh yeah, no, it makes sense why this is the way it is because of who you got it from, or the collection of people that you got it from.
That's right.
So we'll leave it at that.
That's a beautiful story, man. Look, I'm so excited. I'm excited because we know what it is that we've gone through, but you guys will learn soon enough, and we appreciate you guys for just being eager to want to learn like what's the next thing. So I know that we've been on here for just a little time, Roger. Do you have any other things that we wanted to make sure we hit on before we get out of here? This is just freelancing at this point.
Yeah, honestly, I want to have something in the shape of value. And the way that looks like is if you tell us what you're seeing out there with the tenant landscape and being completely honest with what it's looking like right now. Kind of what we talked about before and what's going on with the business. Like we don't like just be open and transparent about it. That way that people can actually walk away with something from this video. Because I feel like a lot of it was dancing around and talking. And it makes sense because we can't really
Can't
talk about
really
it.
talk about it. Yeah.
It's like we want to, but you can't really talk about it. So let's actually leave with some actual good value, and
Here,
I
I
would
got
say try to make it data full, but it's hard to do that. We don't have sheets right in front of us.
I don't have data in front of me, but I can give you guys perspective from a realtor's eyes that's in the market, on the phones every day, working with clients that are either in looking to get into the market on sidelines or planning to get in another year or two. So, from the perspective of a buyer or a seller, for a buyer, there are people that are shopping right now. There are people that are knocking at the door of opportunity. They're simply waiting for a seller to accept an offer that they feel is a good offer, which is most of the time it's a low offer. Let's just be frank about it. They're looking to get deals. And that's because they've been, in the eyes of the buyer, they've been suffering for the last 5 years. Put yourself into the buyer's position and assume, play the role that you're shopping, and every year you were told, "This is gonna be the year to buy. This is gonna be the year to buy. This is the year prices have to drop. This is gonna be the year to buy," for 5 of them, and it just never happened. Now, we're seeing buyers that were patient, aggressively underbidding on sellers' properties, and it's because they can. Homes are sitting on the market. Now I'm gonna touch on the sellers. This is because homes are sitting on the market and they're sitting on the market for a little while. 30 days in the Bay Area, everybody, let's be honest. 30 days in the Bay Area, no matter where you are in the Bay Area, is a long time. And that's because traditionally, like for the last 10, 15 years, homes will sit on the market. For the last 5 years, I'm sorry, since 2020 through 2023, homes would sit on the market for 2 weeks. I'm sorry, for maybe 7 days, not 2 weeks, 7 days, maybe less, because it was the COVID buying spree that was happening, right? So the homes just didn't sit on the market for that long at all. Shoot, most homes they got on the market just to show the MLS that they've been pending for stat purposes. So sellers right now, they're having a shaking of reality right now, and I could only imagine it probably is not a nice, you know, situation. They're probably seeing home prices coming back down to 2020, 2021 price tags, and it just doesn't feel good because that's a huge hole in their sale. Matter of fact, the Bay East has what is called the weather report, and I will tell buyers in the Bay Area, if you wanna have a perspective on what's going on in the market, give us a call. I can kinda show you what it is I'm talking about because I don't even know if you have access, but if you do actually, go on bayeast.com. It's called the weather report. and it'll show you homes losing 10% value year over year since last year. 10% is a lot. And that's being hopeful. There's homes that have lost 15%. Some areas are lucky and they only lost 4%. But it's important just to know where you're trying to buy in this area. Now, that's for the sellers. Homes are sitting a little longer. And so buyers are haggling. Now, rentals, as long as I've been in the market, rentals haven't needed assistance. And when they did need assistance, it was very like underwhelming. Sellers would just say, hey, look, do this service for $100, do this service for $200. And the reason why is because the demand was so high, the value of the service started to become lopsided. And I could understand that. But at this point, I feel like there's a shifting there as well. Properties that are for rent are sitting a little longer. And it could be due to the amount of the properties like for rent, like the rental value. We've gone up not just in pricing of properties, but we've gone up in rental values in the last 5 years. I mean, where a property would have been, or let's say a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom in San Ramon was $2,000 pre-COVID. It's $3,000 for that same 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom. So it's a huge difference in 5 years. And maybe it's just, something coming up in that space as well, but I can't call it. All I know is that there are recurring events of these conversations and I have to take note of it. I can't be naive to it. But this is just anecdotal until data's in front of you. So maybe there's something I can show you guys as far as data is concerned on how rental values are being impacted in the Bay Area, as well as sales prices and how the prices are being affected due to days on market and due to buyer demand and interest rates. So maybe next time around we swing around on that, but don't want to spend too much time on it, honestly. But because I don't want to sit here and talk numbers all day. But I'm sure you guys care about that. So if you guys care, if you guys want to hear something like that, just let us know in the comments.
Woo! That was a lot.
That was a lot, man.
Yeah. Hope they're taking notes.
Good thing we can bring something around next time around. I'm thinking that it wouldn't hurt, but I just don't want to spend too much time on it because let's face it, people right now are not even trying to think about real estate. There's so much blood in the water right now. People just are looking from afar. There's limited buyers in the market space, limited assets on the market. Nothing is just so lopsided. Like it'd be totally different if there was a lot of properties for sale. Like everybody would feel it. A lot of properties for sale, a little bit of buyers. That's a total market collapse. But we have limited inventory, limited buyer, interest rates high, limited data is what we're faced with. Slow turnaround times. Because now once we get the new turnaround, like it takes a month, maybe a month and a half just for data to reset. And once we get the new data, we're still dealing with the last 30 days. So it's a whole thing, man. It's a whole
And what does that mean to people look to do anything in the real estate market?
It means that you will always be behind the 8 ball. You'll always be behind it. Meaning you have to look at real estate as illiquid, and it's not the stock markets where you can pull your money out and I lost $10,000 in a day. God forbid that happens. You can pull that money out to save the rest if you have 100. But if you have $100,000 in your asset, like in your property, that the real property is what it's called, real estate. You're not moving that. You're not moving that money quick. Even if you got a loan on it to bridge it to get to another property, you still have to sell your property. So you're not moving it quick. And that's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's something that we were taught with some of the programs that we were alluding to earlier, is that you better have a lot of doors if you're getting into this game,
I got a lot.
because
What?
you need to You really need to, what do you call that? It's like basically if something is happening to your portfolio, if you have one door and something is happening to your portfolio, which is that one door, it's 100%
100%.
of your portfolio that's getting screwed over. Now, if you have 100 doors and you have something wrong with one door, it's like, oh, it's just one door. The other ones are paying for it easily.
But Roger, what you're talking about is buying a property that could easily be like 2 times more expensive than a single family home. They probably can't afford it. What do you say to that?
There's different ways that you can afford it. There's hundreds of different strategies that you could use that people use. It's honestly kind of crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot. People don't really like save up for this in their mattress and then pull it out and go, I want to buy that apartment. They don't really do that. Some people do, which is pretty cool. It's pretty dope, but not everybody does that. Some people do it with what appears to be pure magic. And so before I get even more tempted to start listing off ways, but I could just see how that could be a mess because then I'll just be here going blah 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 blah. It's funny. I have books up here that talk about over 100 different ways. Where is it at? Anyways, you have to believe me. I'll show you next time.
You have
But
to
there's a
vote.
couple books up here. There's a couple books up here that shows you
Yeah.
like over 100 ways is one book. Over 100 ways to get a house, and the other one's like how to. It's by Bigger Pockets, investing in real estate with no to low money
Money
down.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like there's so many different ways on how to get properties. It's like disgusting almost how many ways. But
Yeah, and that's just talking about creative financing. We're not even talking about like subject twos or, any of those like deeper, like depth, murky water type ways, lease to own or anything like that. Everybody knows the lease to own, but not everybody is comfortable with the idea of, carrying somebody else's mortgage. It's not everybody's comfortable with the idea of non-traditional financing because it's not traditional. But I mean, let's be honest. If you knew that you had a deal and all you had to do was come up with $30,000 and you save tens of thousands of dollars annually, would you want to know about it? Like that's the
Rodrell, why would somebody do that? Why would somebody?
Roger.
Oh man, is hundred. I'm gonna answer. There's hundreds of reasons why somebody would want to do it. One of them being a real life scenario that I went through, which was somebody was about to like they waited last minute because they didn't know they had any other option
Yeah.
except for being foreclosed on. And it's like they were like, "Wait, what? You'd buy the property?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, why are you shocked? You sure? It's like you need to put some work into it. It's like, yeah, I know. You told me. You gave me all the numbers. You gave me everything. Everything checks out. Okay, all right. Well, if you do this, you're gonna help me out because I didn't know I had any other options or any other avenues. And I can already hear it, man. People are gonna be like, "Well, she could have, or she could have done this. She could have." Yeah, probably. But guess what? Time was running out, and she had no more time. So what do you want me to do? Go back in time for her and help her do those other things? I didn't even know her. So it's like, there's always gonna be somebody saying that shoulda, 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 and those are the people that don't know what they're talking about. And two, wouldn't have done anything to actually help themselves. And them not being in the field or learning anything about how to help those people is proof enough to demonstrate that. So I'm gonna stop being defensive on that
I mean, you was
because
getting fired up, man. I can see.
yeah,
I mean, it's the
I
same,
know.
the same people that said they're gonna wait. They're gonna wait until the market comes down. They're gonna wait till the market comes down. They probably feel like pain. Even right now, market's going down. Still pain. Rate is 6.5 and some change. Obviously, it's not 6.5 because I'm using a number that is arbitrary because I'm not going to tell you what the rates are. I'm not a loan officer. Number one, let's get that out the way. Number two, everybody knows that the rates are high. And so if you get something today, even if the market's going down, even if it went down to the price that it was back 2020, you'll still be uncomfortable. So who's to say that those buyers that's been saying that they're gonna wait are even going to buy because they're gonna look at the what was and what is and still have a problem with it. That's it remind and this is like a raw
I mean,
snowball conversation, just bringing out fire in me. Like I remember like a client that we had that we brought more value, and then because they seen more value, they wanted more value. This is a snowball conversation. I don't want to derail us, but it just
I'll do it for you. So basically, you got them all the way up past their like
what they wanted. They
they're
wanted a
out
million
of the air. They
dollars.
pulled the number out of the air, and you got more than that number. And then
Hey man, that's
there's
really
still
politically correct how you did that. I like that.
there's still yeah yeah
I like that.
um
Pull the number out there. We got
out the
more.
air, Mhm. Out the air, out the clouds. I was gonna go the other direction, but
But no, man, that
decided
was
not to.
yeah, no, man. I was gonna point them out in a minute. I was like, their name is
Yeah, they live at yeah no, but it's just crazy. But that's why we learned from that lesson, and now we do something called disqualifying, which is one of the secret sauce we got from a cool mentor that we've implemented with like tenants and stuff like that. So that'll be something about that will be in there because we don't want to take like a whole course and just like slap our name on it. So it's not going to be that at all, but it's going to be some of the lessons learned from talking to those tenants will go into something like that that we will be giving away at some point. Yeah. So talking about this kind of reminded me of this like little analogy that I was creating a little while ago. It's not perfect by any means, but it's like when somebody's like, "Well, how can I get the best value in the real estate market on my house, whether I'm renting it or selling it as much as possible?" And that's like asking me how to get like the best looking person as your spouse. And it's like, well, step one, be born beautiful. It's like step one, be in the best market in real estate history. Like that's the real answer. But let's say that we can't do that. We can't change anything about that. That's just kind of like circumstance, right? So the next best thing, and people super overlook this, and it's almost like, duh, it's so simple. But the price, man, like the price relative to the market. And people say location, 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 and it's like that's between market and price. It's something that you can't really change. You just only get that one time. Like you get that once when you go buy the property once, and things happen in between when you bought it and when you sell it. So it could have turned worse or it could have turned better. So crystal ball it or just forget it. And so the next thing is price. Another thing that you can't really change it like location as far as what the market looks like, but you can change the actual number and tweak it based off of what the market all the numbers in the market are. And so, there's something called price bracketing that I don't want to get into here, and it's not something that's covered by a lot of agents, but basically position your house such that you look like the obvious choice. And then when you become the obvious choice, what do people do? They all flock to you. When they all flock to you, and it's not like this, I'm not talking about undercutting or overpricing to attract. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Has nothing to do with that. But there is a special way to position yourself in there, whether it's a little above or a little below, depending on certain factors. And then again, like I said, they flock to you, and then you go ahead and say, "Well, I already got an offer based off of this." And if you want to call it a bidding war, fine. It's not what you think it is, but if you want to attach a label to it, sure, call it that. So that's the next step. And then the next step after that is negotiation and sales, your sales ability. And so it's like this continuum of things is like how controllable do you want it to be as far as like how much you're going to get back? And the thing that we keep running into is that people they think that if they're firm and hard negotiating with the realtor, that that's somehow going to get them more money. It's not.
man.
1000% it's not. Like you're training the realtor, you're training them to pretty much like lie to you because we don't do this because it turns into a storm, right? But you're training like the new guy to lie to you by going, I want this. The new guy is always going to say, oh, yeah, we can get that for you. we can get it for you. We can get it for you. If they don't give you either pushback or show you why you're correct
Yeah.
with numbers and actual evidence
Red flag. Red
with
flag.
criteria, then yeah, red flag, you need to run. If they show you a couple numbers and they go, yeah, well,
Roger,
this one way
most
over here, this one way over here,
Roger,
and this one that looks nothing like your property, that's why you can get, it's like, no.
Roger, I gotta stop you, man. Look, these guys, they thrive on hope. They thrive on my number. They think that because they've lived in this house for 15, 30 years, that they know exactly what they can get for their home because they live there. Let's face it, they're the only person that knows what their home is in and out, and they're gonna feel like they know exactly how to sell it because they know what is and what isn't in their home. What do you
Well,
think of that part?
and I mean, and what about Zillow? Zillow told me that I can get 1 million.
Damn it, Zillow.
Why you lying to these people, Zillow? Why you getting their hopes up? Yeah, Zillow
Well,
got in
some
trouble for that, right? I mean, it had a whole it was a whole thing. Oops, our algorithm's not that good. So we can't actually offer you that much. Like that was a whole ploy, right? That was a whole ploy is that they were trying to get people hyped up so that they could reel them in through their system and get them listed and collect on commission checks through them. And then they did a whole workaround where it's like now they're trying to this is something this part is something I heard that the direction that they're trying to go in, but they're trying to do the
deflate
opposite.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I know, but the consumer probably doesn't know that. They're probably looking at their numbers and saying, "Why? Why?" Not only not only was that obvious from Zillow's perspective that they were doing that, deflating the pricing, but it was before the market started adjusting. Like, the market is adjusted, let's face it, it's not Zillow. This isn't Zillow. This is the market correcting itself through time and dollars. That's it. But Zillow did something to jump up, like, in front of that. They put out a 2024, 2025 perspective, year-over-year perspective, saying that we're gonna see price drops point 1 negative 0.1%, negative 0.4%, not negative 4%, not negative 1%. But they said that it was gonna be a negative market and not even at 1%. And now markets are dropped significantly more than that. But it's just to say they got ahead of it. Like they got ahead of it, but I don't think that I don't think that these websites should even be doing this because it gives the consumer the wrong idea. It gives the seller the wrong idea and it makes the realtor's job that much harder. We can't even present the facts without the sellers in today's market feeling like they're either getting robbed or that we're over assessing it. Sometimes, I mean, there's a pendulum here. There's the seller that believes that they can get the home sold for $1 million, but then they learn that, oh, wait, there's more. And then there's the seller that thinks that their home is worth $2 million. And we gotta, hey man, look, say man, drop that, drop that a little bit.
And what did we learn, man, through all that? We learned, hey, if you don't want to drop the price and you're way up here, hey, good luck to you. See you next year. But if they're like a little bit off, and they're a little bit too high, then it's like, oh, you don't want to work with me to drop the price? Okay. What if I asked you to drop it after we did it your way? We'll do it your way. We'll go to the market. I'll go to bat for you. I'll go 100%. Because guess what? If we could sell for more, I get to put more money in my pocket. Why wouldn't I want that? So let's do it. But after this period, do you agree to drop the price down to what I was saying? Because after that, there's a period of no return. Well, people are going to look at you and go, you dropped the price. It's for a reason. What is it? I'm skeptical. And so you're going to always have that skeptical lens. But the longer it goes on, the longer that days on market increases, the more thicker those skeptical lenses get.
Hey man, that's perfect. That's a perfect analogy. So, I mean, the offer here for those that probably heard it and didn't quite grab it, people that want to sell their home and have that illusion that a home is worth $3 million when really we can see it, the next buyer can see it, and the whole neighborhood sees it. and we know that it's not that value, we will do what we can with the appropriate lens, the appropriate time. But at some point, and at that point, we will get to reality. And when we get there, no more screaming, no more kicking, no more barking because we've tried it your way. And don't you really want your home sold rather than just putting it on the market and wasting all this time, your time and the next person? I don't think that you I don't think you wanna play that game. I don't think you wanna play the game of, "Let's just wait and see," because it's a boring game, and it costs a lot. It costs a lot of time, energy, and effort that no one wants to participate in. Seller, you don't wanna participate in it. Agent doesn't wanna participate in it. No, let's just cut it there. But if you find value in really getting your home sold, have an ear to hear. Have an ear to hear, because the agents, they're not gonna give you no BS information that doesn't do them any good and that doesn't do you any good, because if they can't do you any good, they not gonna get any dough. And
Well,
that's
the right type of agent, right? Because we did say that most agents have opium on their breath.
yeah. Yeah, and
So
then it's
that's
those.
yeah. So we don't want the hopium running in the air. So if you got somebody that's pumping your price up before actually showing you the numbers,
Flag on the play.
yeah, don't even like how do you know? How do you know the price that I gave you is correct? Well, because I did the numbers before oh, show it to me. Share your screen. Show it to me. Well, I need some time to okay, you're lying to me. By click. But it was like, show me your numbers. Like, well, I didn't tell you I had any numbers. That's actually why I'm calling because I wanted to see
Honest.
if you'd even entertain the idea. Because if you do, what I can do for you is actually get a play by play moment down to this moment, not the last week, not the last month, not the last year using the Zestimate. No, I'm going to get you something that's right here, right now, and then I'll show you the numbers. Then they go through the numbers with you. Then you know, okay, at least doesn't mean you pick the guy right then and there, but at least you can give the guy some more minutes or gal some more minutes to explain to you what the proper direction is. That way you can decide at the end of the day, it's your decision if you want to do business with them.
Man,
Oh, yeah.
Roger, it sounds like you've been through some things, man. It sounds like you heard something. Sound like you talk that talk.
Yeah, I've had specific people popping in my mind where I was like, man, I just wanted to help you. I just wanted to help you. Help me help you. Like it gets a little, but that's my fault. I take all that on, it's all on me because I wasn't good enough at being able to show them at that time what it actually means. I don't actually think people are like completely lost. It just means that there's a skill gap. And some people need a salesman or an agent that's like way up here. Maybe they don't even exist on that level yet. That agent hasn't been born yet. But but that's something to strive for sure. Because there's somebody that I'm thinking about in my mind where I'm like, the number support you getting 1.5.
I know who you talking about.
And now I want 2 million. Okay, I understand that. So you're set on 2 million, 100%. There's nothing I could do or say to earn your business. And it's like, well, maybe 1.8. Then I do it. Okay, and can I ask you where you got those numbers from? Well, I got them from there's an investor down the street who's buying them and turning them into something. And he said he'll give me 1.8. Oh, if somebody could give you 1.8, you need to go with that. Like, I cannot get you 1.8. You need to go with that. I would jump on that as soon as possible before things change.
A year
Call him,
later.
I call him a little short. Yeah, not even a year later, like a month later. I'm looking at the house. It's still there. There's no action. Call him. I look at the numbers because I'm curious now. It's not at 1.5. It's not at 1.5. And this is a single month later. So the numbers support a lower number. I think it was like 1.3 or something like that. And he was like, yeah, no, he said he can't right now. He wants to, he'll look at it later and see if it goes up. But right now he can't do that. I was like, okay, well, do you still want to sell? Yes, I really want to sell. I got to get out of here. I want to go start doing my dreams. I'm trying not to give away too much here, but I want to start doing my dreams, and the only way I could do that is if I get five. I was like, "You told me 2. You told me 1.8, the very least. You can't do anything to start your dreams in the place you wanna go, at the very least."
At the time when I coulda got 1.5, but
Yeah.
now
Yeah, so it's like and then I make the call again later because says something about that guy saying he will come back and he'll give him 1.6. Call him again a month later because no activity, right? We're looking at like 1-1. That's what it'd be worth. That's what houses almost a 1-for-1 are selling on his street. A 1-for-1 on his street, 1.1 or somewhere around there. And he's like, "Yeah, nah," he said he can't do it for that. He'll come revisit me later. But, if I would be able to get 1.4, I think I could at that point, I just, again, my fault for not
having that
sticking with it,
yeah,
but I kinda just gave up a little bit. And it's funny because you accidentally
called them on accident.
called that person, and he's like, "And what you supposed to?" Brother, there's
"Brother!"
just so many opportunities. Brother, I tried, brother. You said no multiple times. So it's like, there's no real way to know that unless unless he really tried to sit down and read the numbers with me, but he wasn't having it. It was more of a, well, I could get more elsewhere. Whether it was true or not, maybe he was being sold a lie. But whether it was true or not, it wasn't a let's look at the numbers, let's look at why you think that's the way it is. It was more of a I could get more. And it was it was
There's no
opium.
convincing. There's no convincing. Yeah. I mean, look, ultimately, that's the reason why we strive for no today. Because the last thing we want is talking to somebody that has sold themselves on a dream that we as a professional have to look at it and say, look, that is not even feasible.
Talk about the other side of it though. What's the other character look like? The yes.
Look, man, the truth is we want to get people that know what they're looking for in the market because the chances of us achieving their expectation, like whether it's market value or out of this world, we at least want to know like what's the target because if we can achieve it or greater, then we've done our job. We've achieved your number and greater within reason of the market, meaning we're not selling it less than the market price, but we're selling it more than what we at like what we were able to get from your perspective. Dude, I mean, the last client that we shared, they had their home on the market for $1 million, and this we were touching on this earlier, but we had the home on the market for $1 million, and that's what they wanted, and we had that before they even got on the market. We actually called them out of the blue, cold calling, "Hey, hey, hey, what's up? Got a number for you. We got a price tag for you that could work." Ultimately, we got them what they were looking for before they hit the market. They just were surprised because they didn't believe that we could get it. Then, once we achieved their 1 million, we got them 1,025,000. We got that, they wanted more. 1,050,000. They wanted more. 1,075. Where does it stop? When do you say, I've achieved more than I expected and I'm satisfied? It's the hopium on the there's more. There's
Yeah, and there's
more.
there's nuance to that too, is because people were lying to them, saying that they will give them more if they just waited out our contract. And you know what happened? That was a lie because they didn't buy it. It was a lie.
It was a lie.
Yeah, you almost got hyped there for a second.
It was a let's just simply say it was a lie.
Yeah, you need to be able to vet those people. And I want to kind of take this back because I didn't want to dwell too much on that side. I wanted to show the people what it looks like to work with somebody else because it is relevant to them. When you called, you've already this has happened recently where you call, somebody's like, yes, you do the disqualification of pushing them away, and they say, no, stop pushing me. I want this. And it's almost surreal. It almost feels fake. And you're like, well, here's this scenario. Is this could happen? What do you think? And it's like, I don't care. I'm still going to do it. Okay. Well, at this point, I couldn't kick you off this phone if I wanted to. So let's move forward. And then guess what? They do what they say. We get in the contract and things keep moving and they turn out to be the most amazing, sweet,
Amazing people.
kind-hearted, look out for you as we look out for them. And it's just it's amazing. So all that to say, this really does apply to you or to people
Avatar.
watching as they're looking for their tenants is because you get to choose between what type of person you want to work with. You want to work with somebody who doesn't pay attention to the numbers and they don't care. They just want to enter like a battle with you. And that's like the whole everybody thinks, oh, well, it's easy to get a tenant right now. Yes, it's easy to get any tenant, meaning a good chunk of them are going to be those people that want to go back and forth with you, fight with you, tell you what it is. And by the way, with a tenant, it doesn't look like a fight like how ours looks like. It looks like, yes, I really want to be in the location. Ghost. Yes, I've been looking for a spot so long. Oh my gosh, yeah. Application, ghost. No, I'm telling you, this is like the 10th place we looked at. This is the best one that we want to move into. You want me to do what? Ghost. That's what that looks like. Versus the flip side,
That was
you need
cringy, bro.
to get somebody like the tenants that I was dealing with, which is the best tenants ever because they turned into friends. And those people are like, yeah, I do want to get in there. And you ask them why. And it's like, well, because I want to be in proximity of this. I want to do that. They have clear reasons, clear plans for the future for that specific area. And there's tons of other things, but I don't want to get into like all the checklists and criteria because that's
That's gonna be
kind of
for the thing, man.
it's
The
kind of
thing. The thing.
a thing. Yeah. So
But
there we go. I wanted to deliver some type of value. I know we kind of talked on a little bit and got a little bit granular with it, which is completely fine. But hopefully, there can be some walking away with something tangible here, which is look out for the person that you actually want to be in your home, not for the fact that there is a bunch of them in the atmosphere. That doesn't mean anything except for headaches. So, do you want headaches or do you want good tenants? It's choice is yours. It doesn't matter. Hopefully, we can get you something soon so that you can do it for yourself. Anything for you,
no, man, we appreciate the time that y'all spent with us. And if you took anything away from this, amazing. We hope to give you guys some more value next time around. Appreciate you guys' eyes and ears. See you guys.